Hello everyone out there, this is AJ from Late Night Productions coming with another episode of Subnautica. Just making sure we're streaming real quick. We are online, sweet. Sometimes I'm not sure. Anyway, I'm AJ, as always. And this week, coming back from wherever he disappeared to last week is...
Ashtar, I've been busy.
You alright?
Everybody knows it's college at this point.
Yeah. So, let's load on in and see what's going on.
If I'm a little quieter than usual, I apologize. I do actually have some work I want to make sure. Well, it's not like homework work, it's like class work, preparing for class later work.
Yeah.
To make sure that I'm ready for some tests later tonight. So, apologies in advance, I'm a little quieter than usual. I'm just kind of staring at stuff in this book to make sure I get it in my head for later. That doesn't mean I'll be completely quiet, though.
Yeah, it'd be weird if you start a conversation and you just, like, zone out and I'm just talking to myself. That'd be weird.
I'll try not to do that, but some of the stuff I am looking at is a little... Well, it's another language entirely, so yeah, I'm gonna have to focus a little bit more than probably usual. Nice.
And reinforce the place a little bit, and made one of these.
Neat.
This is going to be very useful. And see, oh yeah, I need to, I think I need to repair my ship. Yeah, 39 health. I think I need to repair this real quick.
Welcome aboard, Captain. All systems online.
Yeah. So... Oh, what was I gonna say? Brain's a little weird today. Now that we have a mode of transportation...
It can't go very deep, but it's something.
We can't go deep, but we can go further. We can go to other biomes and just sort of grab stuff now.
Oh, by the way, we are. I think last time you were here, this was already made.
Yes.
Check it. We're good for a little while.
Yeah. As I mentioned, probably the episode that was made, bioreactors, while less efficient than nuclear reactors, don't have as many drawbacks.
Yeah. I got this going. What was I looking at last time? I don't remember. Maybe I should have watched last week's episode before starting this, but oh well.
Maybe. Oh well. We'll figure it out. If we don't make any major progress, that's fine. We can just do some minor things.
I found this, by the way.
Yeah, so... The reinforced diving suit does a couple of things. One, it increases the temperature that you can actually handle, which, for, like, going into extremely hot zones is fine, but when you're actually in there, it's not nearly enough with the whole set.
Yeah.
So going out of your ship in extremely hot places is still going to burn, but you can handle higher temperatures before that starts happening. Second, the thing that it doesn't tell you is that the reinforced diving suit actually gives you some armor. And that armor reduces the amount of damage you take when you get chomped on or something like that.
How do I get the Cyclops blueprints? I don't remember off the top of my head.
Cyclops comes from fragments just sitting about, and remember that since it's such a big thing, it's like 3 different fragments or something like that.
I have the hull, I have the bridge. What am I missing?
I don't remember.
Can you look it up? Will I go back to the mushroom forest to look around?
Sure.
Oh, I also made a regular battery charger in last episode.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Just a battery charger. Battery chargers and fuel cell chargers are really good ideas. Although, I should mention that as long as they aren't actually charging anything, they don't take any power, but when they do, they kind of sap power quicker than you think they do.
Oh yeah, did I tell you I found the blood kelp area?
Neat. Not a lot can be really done with blood kelp.
It makes not iodine. It makes something that you need for something else. Yeah, that's really specific there, huh, Ashtar? Slip of the tongue.
You almost did it. You didn't actually say my name this time.
I like messing with the lights. I don't know why. Maybe it's just a little noise they make. I don't know.
Okay.
Future channel.
So
go ahead.
we have the bridge and the what? Sorry, the hull and the what?
The hull and the bridge.
We need the engine blueprint before we actually get the
And I'm
we need
it's probably
the
somewhere
Cyclops. Engine can be found near the Aurora, in the Cragfield Crashstoner Mountains, on the seabed in the Cragfield Crashstoner Mountains, or in wrecks in the mountains or underwater islands.
So we just gotta get lucky. Huh.
Unfortunately.
Okay, by the way, this is future channel update. I am currently in the process of looking for a job, and I have an interview actually tomorrow. And if I get the job, streaming hours may change on this channel. But
Yeah.
I will stream on this channel as when I can. It just might be as consistent as it has been. I can English.
Yeah, I will talk to AJ after we're done here about exactly how we're going to make it. Probably what will happen is that there will be like a short video posted explaining.
Yeah. So if I don't post for a few days, it's not because, I gave up. It's other, real life stuff. Where
Yep.
the hell am I going?
Also, checking on this, blood oil can be used for 420 energy apiece in the bioreactor.
Huh.
Or 3 of it can make benzene,
That's what I was thinking of, benzene.
which is used to make
Where am I?
synthetic fiber, the engine efficiency module for the Cyclops, and the grappling arm module for the prawn suit. I'm gonna see what synthetic fibers are used to make. They're used to make the reinforced dive suit and another type of suit.
Should I risk going near the Aurora?
As I probably mentioned when the Aurora first happened, the Aurora itself, with and without radiation, is a nasty place to go. Although, when you get rid of the radiation, you're able to, put on the reinforced dive suit, which definitely helps with, the smaller creatures around there, like the sand sharks, the stalkers, and other
Those
things
aren't
like
the
that.
ones I'm worried about.
Yeah, the only problem is that even with the suit, due to what Reaper do, and because he's so big, it doesn't help. Usually the Aurora's a place you go to, get everything you can there, and then just leave. But at the same time, it spans 2 biomes, so it's kind of hard to not go near there when you need stuff.
Okay, we're here, Ashtar. You know what I'm looking for, right?
Yeah. So
I hear you, please go away. Please go away. Please, 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 please. I'll never come back.
yeah, the main problem with going to the Aurora.
Let me go, let me go, let me go,
Alright.
let me go, let me go, let me go. I'm gonna destroy myself.
Well,
This is...
reload.
Wait, I don't even know where I am right now.
Reload!
I just...
Yeah, that's a reload.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I know I said I wouldn't reload unless worst case scenario, but I need that to get around.
I kept saying reload for a reason.
Sorry, guys.
So...
It's because I smacked into something, and that's what killed it.
We're not going to be... We're not going to be abusing this, but if something like... Let's say something we kind of need to get around, like the sea moth or something, kind of blows up in our face, and we don't have the materials to make a new one on hand, then yes, this will be used. This will also be used if the game decides to be a bit of an ass and glitch. So, apologies in advance, but sometimes it's for cutting down on time.
You think if I went there without the sea moth, it would be okay? You know what I mean?
Well, here's a couple of things. One, you should probably wait until day, so you can actually see a little better.
Yeah, true.
Two, the problem with going near the Aurora is that unless you have, like, the fin, like, I think the speed fins, whichever fins those are, there's a type of fin that allows you to go faster than normal. And you don't have the reinforced suit on because the reinforced suit actually slows you down a bit.
I haven't even made it yet. I thought about making it, though.
It's a good idea to make for later. But just, if you want to go fast, do not equip it because it does slow you down a bit.
Welcome aboard, Captain.
But you want to pretty much be as fast as you can if you're going near the Aurora without a sea moth, which means having a fully charged sea glide, having the best speed, fins, etc.
Yeah, my sea glide's fully charged, so...
But what are your fins?
Just regular fins. Do I have the blueprint to make the faster ones?
You need the modification station if you want to make them better.
I have the blueprint, but I just haven't made the station. You know what I mean?
Unfortunately, I don't... Oh, there are the ultra glide fins. You passed them.
Yeah.
A little further up.
Fins.
There.
Oh, I just need 2 rubber and the modification station.
Yep. 2 rubber and your fins and the modification station. That is it.
The modification
You should...
station, though, I need diamond. And that's what I was, I think, trying to find in the last episode. I'm gonna risk it.
There's also the chip, which you might want to see what that requires, just in case.
What I'm doing is completely stupid, yes?
Probably. You should be fine as long as you, like, stay low and whatnot if you go near the Aurora.
I think I saw, like, pieces of the, what I needed. It's just, someone wanted to come up and say, "Hi, I'm here."
The main problem is that when you get near the Aurora, you're gonna want the Sea Glide, because while the Sea Glide makes you fast, you have to be facing one direction if you want to be the fastest possible. So you can't actually look behind you.
Why do you think I'm not using the Sea Glide right now? You know what I mean?
The only way that you're gonna outrun it, the dang thing, is with the Sea Glide at this point.
Why do you think
And
I'm
even
trying to save the
then...
battery?
And even then, I'm not sure if fins actually make the Sea Glide faster. The only reason I mention the fins is just in case worse comes to worse.
Yeah.
Because I don't think an extra 15% is enough to actually outrun it.
Because when the Reaper decides he wants to take a bite out of you, he will take a bite out of you. Every time.
Yeah, he's pretty fast. He's not the fastest thing in the world, but yeah, he's pretty fast.
Go.
So many spam calls. If you hear the phone ringing, I apologize. We just keep getting spam calls. Mostly because someone in the household, I'm not naming names, kept giving donation money, so they keep calling for more.
First aid kit. You hear it?
Audio's a little quiet on my end, but that's on you to keep audio up. That's not the one we're looking for. We're looking for engine.
Engine fragment. I think we need more than one, but we need 3.
I think you need... Yeah, you need 3.
This another one. This is a bridge fragment, but hey, I can always use titanium, right? Am I really tempting fate? Battery. I am tempting fate.
No, you're not tempting fate unless you're, like, in the middle of nowhere. Like, not near the bottom, just kind of floating up there.
Please, 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 please. I just need one more fragment, please. It's a bridge fragment.
Keep in mind, if you do die, I don't think your fragments reset.
30 seconds.
Although, please do not quote me on that. I wanted to check on something. But yeah.
Talk to me.
Well.
Stark. Oh, that's part of the ship.
I'm just looking at this thing because it's interesting.
Just need one more engine piece. And like I said, I really feel like I'm tempting fate down here. You know?
Again, I told you there is worse ways to tempt fate in this game. Okay, so apparently there's something called an air bladder, which is a tool.
Huh.
I keep forgetting that this thing exists, and it's actually really useful, so... Looking at how it works, fins do actually make it go faster. So that tells me that tools like the Sea Glide and whatnot probably actually go faster with better fins. So what the air bladder does is that it will shoot you to the surface real fast.
Oh yeah, I've seen the blueprint, but I've just never used one. Battery.
Yeah, I constantly forget it exists, but it's actually really good.
Need oxygen.
So, for those wondering, what it does is that it's this little inflatable device that...
Ow! Did it just bite me as I went up?
Yes.
I think I got some med kits on hand. Or couple med kits.
Yeah, you should probably get out of there. Or at least go down.
I hope I don't get bitten again.
Okay, major problem with the Hello.
Why do I keep finding batteries?
That was a power cell, actually.
Water. Water's always useful.
Yeah, much like in real life, your water goes down faster than food. You get thirsty quicker than you get hungry.
Gimme. Let's get the F out of here, Ashtar, huh?
Acquired.
Yep.
Which way is home? Which way is home? Shit, which way is home? Home's that way.
That way.
Please, 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 please. You know what I'm saying please about, right?
Yeah, well, you're at a hunt. There it is. Nom.
Okay, I'm getting out of your territory. Bye! I don't have any more med kits on me.
Yeah, this is the other problem.
There's a reef back. I think I'm now out of its territory, I think. That could have been bad.
Yeah, Reapers aren't guaranteed one-hit kill, but they practically are.
I'm just lucky my health was full, you know what I mean?
30 seconds.
Yeah.
So what did we learn? Reaper is scary.
Reaper's hurt. And then I should really remember some of the tools that you get on hand.
Almost home.
Because forgetting about the air bladder is kind of oops. Because that's a really good beginner tool.
Yeah.
Again, to quickly explain what it does, because I think I was about to, and then you got chomped on. Is that when you're underwater, you push a button and it inflates and it shoots you to the surface. Fins make it faster.
Well,
And it
but
takes like a few seconds to get to the surface was one of the things.
we're gonna need plastisteel, enamel glass, lubricant, and an advanced wiring kit. If we want to make this sucker today.
Yeah, so
Let's do plastisteel first.
as I should mention, when it comes to vehicles, the Cyclops is the most expensive, but also has the highest utility. It has the highest utility.
Makes it most worth it.
Now, I won't really get into most of why the Cyclops is
Useful.
useful until it's completed. But for what it's worth, if
you see that?
yep,
Try that again.
yeah, maybe don't play with that. Maybe don't play with that.
Something's drawing a lot of power.
It's the battery.
No, the battery thing's closed.
Did you shove a power cell in something?
Oh, it might be the water filter.
Yeah. So, how the water filter works is
Where's my knife?
it. I'd say on a timer. Takes, I don't remember how long, to literally just filter seawater. Every time it's done with its progress, it gives 1 salt and 1 big disinfected water. Up to 2. Now, as soon as all 4 slots are filled, 2 with salt, 2 with water, it stops working. And stops using power. The minute you take water or salt out of it, it'll start working again and start using power again.
Gotta make sure I plant one of these, so you know I continuously have 4 going. You know what I mean?
Yep. So I should also mention that even if the machine makes, like salt and water, and you don't necessarily need one or the other, you can just leave the others in the machine,
Yeah.
and it will just continue making the one that you didn't leave in the machine.
I have a lot of stuff.
the water's also probably like the best water you're going to get.
Yeah, I know. That's not lithium, that's lead.
Yep.
I have some glass, but I need I almost said shark teeth.
Nope,
Not-
stalker teeth.
So blood oil is good in the that thing over there. My brain just
Yes.
went stupid.
It's good in the bioreactor, and while it's not the best, it is pretty good in the bioreactor.
Let's make a power cell. Can I do that?
It's probably better than like some of the fish that you have around here, like the.
I'm trying to
the
remember
keeper.
how to get the giant aquarium, because that is really useful if you have a bioreactor.
It should be under like habitat stuff, which is at like the bottom of the list.
I mean,
Yeah, like
It
it should be under base.
yeah, but
Yeah,
I don't know
alien
where to get it.
Let me find out, because it is fragments. I do remember that. I just don't remember where.
Mhm.
Also, the air bladder is real easy to make if you want to make one, just for.
Eh.
Literally, all it is just a piece of silicone rubber and a bladder fish, and that's it.
Let's see.
You're looking for. Okay.
Enamel glass. It is not easy to get stalker teeth.
No, it's not. I mean, you can purposely like drop some like wreckage if you have any, or if you feed them, I think, fish by just kind of like throwing fish at them, then they might do so. But habitat builder, it should be floating under interior modules. Unless it's under miscellaneous for some reason. Don't mind me looking through this.
Got ruby, got titanium. I can get titanium.
Okay, alien containment can be found. It just says data boxes, which, the data boxes are like the thing you got, like the super glide fragment, blueprint from.
So I have to find it randomly.
No, it tells me what areas they can spawn in. It's telling me there's like 3 different location wrecks that it spawns in.
Mm-hmm.
One in the mountains, one in the underwater islands, and one in the bulb zone.
So should we go try and find it?
The bulb zone is real close to the mushroom forest if you have a beacon for that.
Yeah, I already have that beacon set up. Let me just go get my shit.
So you might want to if you have the materials, make another beacon and just kind of like push it over the bulb zone.
What do I need for
Not too much, if I recall.
An unrelated note. You watch anime, right?
Somewhat.
Copper and titanium. Wrong button. Have you ever like watched an anime intro? It's like, I'll never like this. Then you watch the show itself. You're like, oh, I like this. You ever had that happen?
Not particularly. Like,
I have.
coming from somebody who like grew up with very bad dubs.
Poor kids.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to go
poor
find
kids.
some copper.
And then like went to the Funimation dubs like much later in life just to see how things were.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like, I don't really know how I feel about anime. Like, I've watched it before, but it's just kind of like a. It's not a love-hate relationship. It's a. Well, I've watched this. What. I like this, but I don't know how to feel about watching anything. Do I have the time for this?
All systems online.
It's just like I don't mind it as a genre or what it is. It's just that some of the things about it are not only the amount of time it takes just to like get into something, but sometimes like the sheer amount of like cliche or other things that some people put into it's just like, huh.
The reason I brought this up because there was an anime called Death Parade that I watched the intro and I'm like, this looks stupid. What does that have to do with like card games and stuff like that? And it figures out the plot is actually a lot heavier than that. I don't know if you want me to give away the plot or not. Well,
For the sake of the viewers, don't.
basically, I'll tell you, like, a synopsis without spoilers is the anime is about going to like this place to get judged to go to the afterlife, and that's all I can really give you without giving anything away.
Alright.
I mean, that's clean enough, right?
Should be, yeah. Just... Well, I wouldn't mind it, and just kind of like, I'd rather not, since we're have a potential live audience, and for people who watch this later, I don't want that spoiled, just in case they've just heard of it and want to watch it themselves.
Alright, I'm at the, mushroom forest. I think I know which way the bulb zone is. I think it's this way. I think. Did I mention I love the music of this game?
Subnautica has real good music.
Indeed. That's a big mushroom tree.
Yep.
I mean, they don't actually really look like mushrooms, so why are they called the mushroom tree forest thing?
Well, it's called that because the mushrooms are sort of... It's like coral, I'm guessing, that grows off the side of the tree, like sort of like table mushrooms do.
I can see that.
Have you ever seen like a table mushroom off the side of a tree?
Yeah.
So it looks like table mushrooms just growing off of like these giant spires of coral. So it makes it look like trees of mushroom.
Yeah. I think I may have gone the wrong way.
This looks like the crags.
Oh no. I heard that.
You should probably leave here then.
Not going that way.
But you're going further into the deep.
Do you want to know did you see what was the other way, Ashtar? It was long and, take some bite out of people.
Ah.
Yeah, hence my panic to go the other way.
I forget what zone this is. Like, the thing about the mushroom forest is that it borders like two different biomes.
Mm-hmm.
One is the bulb zone, and the other one is like a biome right before the literal edge of the world.
I think this is the edge of the world part.
I forget what that particular biome is called. It's either like the crags or like... It's not called the dead zone. The dead zone is the thing past the edge of the world.
Yeah.
But the main problem with the mushroom forest is that the bulb zone is like so small compared to most other biomes that it's very easy to accidentally go into the biome that goes to the edge of the world and not realize it until, oh wait, this looks like the abyss.
Yeah.
And trust me when I say this, it's best if you don't poke the abyss.
Oh, trust me, I have, and it was a non-live stream playthrough. But, oh yeah, I have been there, and it is not fun.
As somebody who has played the beta, the Abyss used to not have anything. So what I used to do after every like major beta build is I would go to the Abyss after checking out everything new, and just throw myself into the Abyss
See what
with
happens?
cheats on and just see how far it could go before the game crashed. Yeah, and I taught you some of the things I learned back in the older days.
Yeah, remember we spawned like, 10 of each Leviathan or something like that?
I think it was like 100.
And yet the game didn't crash.
Yeah, game's gotten a lot better because, surprisingly enough, throwing yourself into the literal bottom of the world didn't actually crash the game. So usually about, like, after I fell down probably, like, maybe, like, nearly 1,000 meters, I'd be like, okay, this is not doing anything. I'm good here.
Where am I?
Which,
Oh,
if you're wondering, that took literally, like, 10 minutes for it to get there.
don't think I'm in the right spot again, Ashtar.
You're in the floating islands, which, granted, there's probably some cool stuff around here, but...
Thank you for taking a bite of my ship. Would you like another? I can only go so far down, though, you know what I mean?
Yeah, floating islands... This isn't necessarily like an endless abyss. This is just a very, very deep hole.
I feel uncomfortable. You know what I mean?
Welcome to just the ocean. Like, I very much understand why people get uncomfortable in certain parts of the ocean, and it's mostly because probably like latent agoraphobia or something similar.
For me, I don't like the sense that I don't know where ground is. Make sense?
Yeah, that's a definite big one. Like, I don't mind it as much.
I mean, I'm
That's
okay.
just me.
I mean, because I know this is a video game. I know it's not real, so I'm okay. But it still get uncomfortable from time to time. I have no idea really where I am.
You are in like. This isn't quite the kelp. This is like deep in the kelp forest, and if it's not in the kelp forest, then it's somewhere like adjacent to the kelp forest. Because I should mention that the zones are much bigger than you gave them credit for when you actually look at a map. But out of like all the zones, like the three biggest zones are the kelp forest, the safe shallows, and probably the red kelp area. Not the blood kelp. Blood kelp is separate.
Well, I'm back to the mushroom forest somehow.
I'd say mushroom forest is probably like one of the second biggest biomes, mostly because it actually is quite large.
Ashtar, do you see what I see over there?
Do you see the things? Ah, yes. Now we're in the bulb zone, or it was called in the beta the Kush zone.
Wait, aren't these edible?
Yes. I believe like now they're called like bulb trees or something like that, but these literally were just called like Kush plants.
Because they look like Kush balls? Or whatever that toy was called?
Well, I think the spelling was literally like Kush.
Yeah, there's a toy with the same spelling.
Huh. I thought they were just making a weed joke.
No. Well, you could, but,
Honestly, I don't know. I'd have to like ask the developers on like what their exact inspiration for calling it that before they called it the bulb zone was. And I'm guessing they probably changed the name because people made the weed connection too much. Kept joking about that. And they were like, okay.
Perfect. Wait, where'd my ship go? I will do some repairs since I'm already out.
Yep. So I should mention that for a while, these plants, before like the islands were introduced, were like one of the best ways to actually get food and water. Like these plants in particular were actually really good sources of just like food and water that you could just grow.
An ampoule.
And then the islands were introduced, then much better sources of food were introduced with the islands.
Warper! We don't want to mess with him.
Nope. So do be careful in here. While the Kush zone is probably one of the smallest biomes, not the smallest, that goes to something else entirely. It does border the literal edge of the world.
So far, I haven't found any data boxes.
It's near like a wreck, which there is a wreck in there. I just don't remember exactly what the wreck is the problem.
I can't go down much further.
Well, I would not recommend going anywhere that looks like it just goes down, period. Yeah, this doesn't look very kosher right now.
Should you watch my back a little bit?
Very. I don't remember how far you have to go into the... I don't remember how far you have to go into the abyss before the thing happens, but I'd rather not test the abyss.
Keeper, that was your own fault. You're making me nervous, Ashtar. Stop it.
I'm getting nervous too! Because I'm extremely nervous right now because I know where the wreck is, and it's nowhere near, like, extreme drop-offs is the problem.
There's not more than one Kush zone, is there?
No. How the biome generator works in this game is that when it generates the biome will always be a certain size, and in a certain direction from, you know, like the other biomes, but the exact topography of the biome is somewhat randomized.
What is that?
That's an ampiel egg.
Fascinating.
I should mention that a lot of people think this game has, like, certain procedural generation. That is not entirely a lie, but there's a lot less of it than some people realize. I'm probably wrong about this, but from what I've noticed, the exact topography of zones seem to be the only thing that's procedurally generated as different. Because this Kush zone does not look familiar. Topography. The worst you're gonna get in the Kush zone is probably bone sharks and ampiels, and that's about it. Mostly ampiels. Yeah, this is much different. This is a much different layout. Like, it's the same size, and there's certain things that are still in here, which are landmarks, you know, like this big ball and that vent. But the exact environment layout is different. Although, I don't exactly remember when they introduced that, because for a while, the biomes used to be built exactly the same every single time you started a world. That might have been a later edition. Or that was me just getting very weird luck. Not entirely sure. One thing I should probably mention, like, now, so that everybody who watches this now or later understands, a lot of what I am saying is coming from, like, my own experiences and could be horrendously wrong.
Yeah, weren't you a beta tester?
Technically, yes. I did not participate in the closed beta, but I did participate in the open beta, which was practically, like, in it, like, near alpha stage.
Yeah.
And while I didn't actually send, you know, do a lot of feedback, I did help with some issues of the game. Mostly, like, clipping out of bounds stuff I submitted. But I did so wishing to remain anonymous.
Looky, looky.
Nice.
There's only one problem.
The eel.
Eels. And shark.
Shark's not the problem, it's the eels.
Looks like that one's stuck.
I think so. Well,
Can we avoid it?
yeah, the main problem with amp eels is that while they're not immediately aggressive, if you do get too close, they will start swimming towards you and they will shock you.
That's shocking.
And that shock actually hurts quite a bit. You know, surprise, surprise, for something based off of the electric eel. But, case in point.
Just let me in, please. Does I already have the thing for the vending machine?
But
They
yeah,
can't follow me in, can they?
No. Whenever you open a door like that, it usually has a hitbox that's just big enough for you, and anything about the size of you or smaller.
So, like, a small fish could get in, but not, like, an eel.
I'm not exactly sure how the AI works, because even though it is the hitbox is big enough to let things like, you know, like boomerangs, scary fish, maybe biters in, they don't actually come in.
Blueprint acquired.
Like, you see how big that hole is, right?
Yeah.
That bone shark could come in, and yet it doesn't.
Oh wait.
Like, I'm
Helps if I
not
put a battery in this thing, you know?
Like, I'm not entirely sure how the wrecks are done. Like, maybe there's just sort of like this AI thing where they're not allowed inside of wrecks because of issues. I'm not entirely sure. That's one of those things that if somebody wants to figure out the exact, like, behavior of that, you'd go look elsewhere.
"30 seconds.
Oh, crap. Come on. Let's get out of here. Eeh. Where's my ship? Ship.
Welcome aboard,
Okay,
Captain."
I can tell you a lot of, like, the basics and maybe some of the advanced stuff, but when it comes to, like, the exact code or maybe behaviors of things, do not ask me.
There's a side entrance, did you know that?
We know that now, because you left from there.
And back in we go.
That thing you're seeing is one of, like, the flora that's just kind of clipping through.
But I'm not seeing a thing for the...
Then this... Here's the problem with wrecks. There's, like, two types of wrecks. Like, small wrecks and large wrecks. And when it comes to, like, the exact identification of what type of wreck something is going to be in, the wiki, which I tend to use because it's actually real good about what it do, doesn't specify. For as good as the wiki is, there's a lot of issues with it. Some of those issues are exactly like where some things are, or specifying what kind of wreck something might be in. I can tell you right now, though, out of my memory, that it is in a larger wreck than the one you found, but I just wanted to see if there was a copy in that wreck.
So... Oh, wait! You see this?
Oh.
Please.
That's it, then.
Please. Are we sure? Yes! Yes!
Hey, this was the wreck I was thinking of.
New blueprint
Let's go home, shall we?
Yep.
30 seconds.
I need to repair my ship, but right now I just want to go home.
Yeah,
Where-
the main
please
problem
home.
is that that's a small wreck, so...
Good thing I kept some water with me, huh?
Vital signs stabilizing.
Indeed. But
Anyway,
yeah, that's a small wreck. Big wrecks are things that have, like, multiple rooms. There's not a lot of big wrecks around, actually.
I think I've visited a couple. I think.
There's, like, 3 major large wrecks around the map that I can remember. There's, like, one on the way to, like, the Blood Kelp. There's one large wreck that I know of. I don't think it's in... I think, like, the Grand Reef, maybe? It's near a sort of base, is all I remember.
Near the Degrassi?
No, it's near a different type of base. Which I think is in, like, the Grand Reef.
I want to get at least one thing done today, you know what I mean?
Yep. And the last large wreck is... I want to say it's in, like, not the Blood Kelp, but, like, the Red Kelp.
Yeah.
And even then, that's not...
Glass and 2 titanium. That's pretty easy. But how much
quite-
titanium do we need for another multi-purpose room?
Each multi-purpose room should be like 2, maybe 5?
6.
Okay, 6.
6 plus another 8.
So that's 8 titanium and 5 glass.
10 titanium.
You got the quartz, and you should be fine because you've picked up a few extra fragments and stuff like that.
Oops. That happened.
Yep.
I don't have any titanium on me, but I can, I guess, pick up some scrap along the way.
Yep. That is probably the best way to get titanium is scrap. The only problem is that scrap is fine.
Yeah, and I think I've picked the area, at least near my base, clean. You know what I mean?
Yeah. The placement of scrap is also somewhat random. But I think each area has a certain amount of scrap that is allowed to spawn in it.
Mm-hmm.
It's just where exactly it spawns in that area is somewhat random. Although stalkers tend to move it around.
Pain, pain, pain. I hate tiger plants. Why is this glowing? They glow.
There's a light. There's like a light or something, I think, that's supposed to be there.
Oh.
Either that or it's your sea moth.
Could be. Oh, there's some scrap. How much does each piece of scrap give?
Each piece of scrap is worth as much inventory takes up.
That doesn't really answer my question.
It's worth 4 or 5. I think it's 5. Although that might have been.
Spider!
Yeah. Main problem, some of the the crafting stuff was either toned down or altered since early. And despite the fact that I have played the newer version and whatnot, some of the old stuff is kind of just stuck in my head.
You're stuck in your old ways, Ashtar.
So, for everyone watching this, I apologize if some of the I am saying is not actually true. It might have been true at one point, but then they patched it.
Ooh, copper.
Or changed
Perfect.
it.
Titanium.
But one of the things that I'm happy that I somewhat forgot about is the fact that you needed to dig up sand to freaking make glass in the old version.
Yeah, but didn't that cause glitches in the and stuff?
Yes. Particularly it caused a lot of glitches that would cause you to go through the floor because of how it works. At first, there was no limit to how much you could dig, so people ended up just literally digging out entire biomes. Which caused a lot of problem for the game engine because some things shouldn't be dug out.
Yeah, yeah.
Some stuff requires a study floor, blood, this kelp and stuff like that. So if you were to dig out, underneath the kelp, it would cause a lot of lag.
Oh, you tried to take something out of me.
And because of how it works, digging up just a lot, period, would also cause a bunch of lag.
Yeah.
Because it has to, continually re-render the new topography. So then, the first thing they did to try and fix this was that they toned down the amount of times you could dig. Making it so that you could only dig so much.
Yeah.
But then this also caused some problems, where people would find a way to get around that soft, that hard limit, or still dig up things that they shouldn't be, dig under certain plants and whatnot,
Yeah.
and just cause huge amounts of lag and other problems. And I think the patch after that, they just removed it up entirely and added quartz because they were just tired of dealing with the issues that it was causing. eventually they managed to iron out a lot of the kinks around that, but
Yeah.
that was still like some of the early days. Like one of the things I distinctly remember them having that they removed was that there was a terrain modifier, which allowed you to like en masse uplift and downlift terrain, but they removed that at one point because it was also causing the same issues as the digging. Despite the fact that they coded it in to make stuff like kelp and stuff disappear if you removed the ground underneath it.
Yeah.
It was still causing problems because of how the rendering is done. So people would remove huge amounts of land and cause huge amounts of lag, or just straight up break things with the way they remove stuff. So they removed it for the betterment of the game.
I bet. It's 4 titanium, by the way.
Yeah, so it is worth 4.
Alright. So first we go make the multi-purpose room, right?
Yep.
Should we just put... no, the stuff is right there. Maybe we should just branch it off where the recycler is?
Probably is a good idea. But, like, one of the major other issues that happened that I managed to actually is that back when bases were relatively new, you see this red outline sort of idea?
Yeah.
It was a lot more lax about what you were able to do. So what I did, which you can no longer do, was I literally built it so that my base's exit led into a mountain.
Huh.
And so I built one hatch, and then had the original hatch just lead into the ground, and it clipped me through the world, and I'm like... So I reported, like, hey, because of this, lacked,
Yeah.
requirements, I was able to just clip through the world. And while I do not take credit for single-handedly fixing the problem, I was probably one of the people who helped fix the problem by reporting that.
Yeah. I'm listening to you, it's just I'm also working on this. Oh, I need to... It helps if I get the glass I need, you know?
Yep.
It would help just a little bit.
A lot of the glitches that used to exist in the game that are no longer there involved a lot of clipping through, like, the world. Mostly, like, either in ways that,
Weren't intended? Or, no, glitches are not
mostly
intended.
in ways that weren't intended, but mostly with, like, because they were just getting, like, introduced to, like, they just introduced a certain concept, or they,
How much work do you need to make glass?
or because they were still ironing out the concept of something. Like, there's a particularly nasty one that actually save issues that I never encountered myself, but I did see a patch note.
I might need to go find some more quartz. I need to change a lot of this into,
Glass.
Yeah.
Like,
Right now I'm just trying to clear up inventory space.
I think the particular issue involved the pod, like the escape pod.
Huh?
The particular issue I'm talking about, which caused some save issues, I think involved the escape pod. I don't remember the exact details, but there was an issue with it.
One or two more and I'll be good. Good thing there's some just kind of right outside if I look hard enough.
So I believe quartz used to be rarer, and it used to only take like 1 quartz per glass, and then they made it more common, made it 2.
Creature egg. I am not going to touch that right now. Oh, there's some quartz.
I think it's always been 2 though. It's just that they had to up the rate of quartz spawning.
Where'd it go? It's right here.
In the grass. Either that, or there's like a slate.
Found
Or
it.
that was... Yeah.
I'll just need to get one more, and I think I'll have enough to do what I need. What was that?
That was me putting my water bottle down.
You always have that water bottle with you.
I want to stay hydrated.
I'm not saying that's a bad thing, dude. Look for the color that does not belong. Should be enough. How many pieces of glass do I have?
You have 4. You'll need...
I only
2
need
more
enough
quartz.
to make 5, so I only need 1 more piece of glass. 4 more, 3 more pieces of quartz. Remember, I need
No.
quartz to make, I think, the hatch.
But you have 3 on you.
I need 2 more to make the last piece of glass I need to make the tank. And then I need the quartz to make the hatch.
Yep.
Alright.
Which you do have.
And then we have to go catch some good fish. We at least need, what, 2 fish to get started?
Yes. So how this works is that it's a little weird. They don't necessarily tell you this, but each fish has its own reactor value. In fact, everything that is considered like, biological has its own reactor. But they don't tell you what that value is unless you like throw it in
Select carefully which
the reactor.
you bring on
Yeah.
board.
And even then, they don't actually tell you what the value is. So the only way to actually know how much something is worth in the reactor is to go physically on the wiki and just look it up. Because somebody was crazy enough to actually, figure out how much each thing gave.
Mm-hmm.
So whoever did that, thanks. But a rule of note is that usually the harder something is to get, the more it's worth.
Guess what
So-
time is? Good night.
So things like that are easy to get in like the safe shallows, like peepers, Garyfish,
Bladderfish.
ladderfish, etc., aren't going to be worth too much. Neither is table core.
You remember where Reginald's spawn? Because I know those are
Vaguely.
really good.
Yeah, so things that are harder to get, like pieces of the mushrooms in like the mushroom caves, or like, the things that spawn down there are worth more. There's a reason why blood kelp is worth like as much as it is. It's because it's hard to get.
Like I said, I want to find Reginald's because that's what I usually use.
Yes. So the best fish to do this with are usually the healthiest. So Reginald's, which give the most amount of food, have an insane value of like 480 or something like that.
And we're going to go find some. Just don't know exactly where they spawn.
Welcome aboard. All systems online.
And since fish don't necessarily, this game isn't super
Wait,
in depth.
Was that a Reginald? Or was that? No, that was a spadefish.
Since this game isn't super in depth, you don't need to like physically go out and find like 2 different types of fish. You just need 2 fish of the same type, and they'll just start making.
More of themselves.
Yup. And no, you can't crossbreed fish. As cool as that would be, that is not an implemented thing.
Spadefish. I don't remember if they spawn everywhere or if there's a certain spot they spawn. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the problem with certain things is that not everything. So yeah, here it is. Like, to give you a general idea, like those acid mushrooms.
Yeah.
Because they're parts of batteries, give a bunch. They give 210 a piece. And separately, plants themselves that you can pick up, that you can get seeds of. The seeds are usually worth a fraction of the actual plant's value.
Huh.
So
I don't know if I should be here.
this is the Grand Reef. You're fine.
I get
Just
nervous,
be careful.
you know that, right?
Yeah, just be careful around here. I do remember that there is one creature around here that is a little nasty. Although I don't see him. And that's not the one I was thinking about.
What is that doing here?
That's a good question.
That's not a normal. I'll just go
So
this
what
way.
we just saw there is the reason why the Abyss is no. That is a ghost leviathan. It is.
It makes the Reaper look like a plaything.
Yeah, the ghost leviathan is much bigger than the Reaper. Is probably the longest leviathan in the game, not counting the reefback. And hurts a lot more than the Reaper does. Usually, if you're not at full health when a ghost gets to you, it's going to be a one-hit kill. And if you're at full health, it's going to do about as much damage as it does. Maybe more, slightly more.
Here before? This is
So,
open, so-
the only upside about ghost leviathans is that they don't have a grab like the Reaper does. However, they don't need one.
I saw a warper.
Probably the scariest part about them is that they're faster than Reapers.
Indeed. I'm out of here. I just want a couple of Reginalds. Is that so much to ask, game?
So the weird part about why that kind of surprised me is that there's only like 2 places that they're supposed to spawn. There is one that spawns as a set piece in one biome, and they only are supposed to spawn in the Abyss.
Well, I found the blood kelp.
Now, why there was one in the Grand Reef, I don't know.
Maybe it's a glitch?
I wouldn't say it's a glitch, more of it is there is a possibility that they can spawn in that zone, and because I stay close to the ground, I've never seen it.
Oh, I feel nervous.
Or it had spawned in the Abyss and swam into the Grand Reef from the Abyss, and then swam back. Despite the fact that the Grand Reef doesn't actually border. No, wait, the Grand Reef technically bordered the Abyss? Because of how that biome works, it goes, like, deep, and that part doesn't border it, but there's still sort of like this outer rim that's much higher up that does border it. So it does and doesn't.
I still haven't spotted any Reginalds. Yeah, it's funny. I'll probably stop looking for them, and then they'll show up. You know?
That's usually how it works, yeah. Yeah, so...
Sorry, Beeper.
Bladderfisher were 210, Boomerang's 280. Eyes... Gary Fisher, 420.
Huh.
For fish, 350. Oculuses are like 630. Pretty good. Reginald's are 490.
Still pretty good.
Yeah, Reginald's are really good for what they are, but mostly because while Oculuses give more energy, Reginald's are actually better food-wise. Because Reginald's give...
Nope. Sorry, Ashtar. Didn't mean to cut you off there, but...
Reginald's, when cooked, give 44 food and 4 water, while Oculuses only give 30 food and 2 water. So while they give less energy, they are worth more as a as a food source. Now, granted, the efficient way of doing this is to make a tank of Reginald for both the reactor and the player.
Ashtar, can I be completely honest with you for a half second?
But
I actually forgot what they actually look like, so I've been going around blindly at this point.
well, I did find out that Oculuses are better.
What is that? Oh, that's the floating island. We're back here again.
Yep. So, the other main reason why Reginald's are probably easier to do is because Reginald's, if you find them, usually are easier to find than Oculuses.
The only problem is, like, I forgot what they look like, and...
They look like spadefish, except, you know, sideways.
Weird joke. Hey, come here.
No, that's a spadefish. What I meant by that was that they sort of have like a gray, you know, they swim like a peeper do, you know, with the face on the side of them, like a flounder.
Mm-hmm.
But the face is sort of like gray.
Erosion patterns on the land masses suspended here suggest they once floated on the surface.
Huh. Neat. Something just took a bite out of me. You're probably gonna notice it before I do.
You see, the distinct problem is that unless I show you a picture, you're probably not going to find it. Or if you do find it, it's going to look different. Like, the one problem with playing this game and just, like, learning the names of these things is that...
Oh! So,
New creature discovered.
found one.
Yep.
Now I just got to find one more.
Welcome aboard, Captain.
Yeah,
I know what
the
they
main
look like.
problem... The main problem is that you can know the names of these things, but when you're playing the game, you sort of know them better by sight than you do by name. At least in my experience. So that does kind of make it hard. And again, as I said, if you have a farm in your base of like trees and other stuff like that,
Yeah. What the?
you don't have to worry as much, but you can't cure them, which means that they're going to rot quick. They won't rot as fast as cooked fish do, but they will still rot.
So I gotta be careful.
Well, if you're using like bulbul trees and stuff like that, yes, you have to be careful. The main thing that the main reason why fish are better is because you can gear them, which makes them have a longer stay time.
Yeah. If I don't... Okay, I have the Reginald in my inventory right now, right?
Yes.
Say I don't use it, or don't do anything to it, just keep it in my inventory, will it go bad?
The Reginald itself, unless cooked or cured, will not start to go bad.
So it'll just sit there.
Because the fish is still alive.
Okay.
Um,
There's nothing in here. That's sad.
like how it works is that as long as the object in question is considered alive, quote unquote, so like the trees themselves, or you know, like fish,
Yeah.
just raw fish, they will not degrade. However, the minute you cook or cure them, they will start to degrade. Or in the case of trees, the minute you get a seed, it will start to degrade if it's edible. If you get a seed from something that isn't edible, then it doesn't degrade, because why would it? No, as probably we saw like a few episodes ago.
Oh, hey! Hey! This is what I think it is? It's a time capsule!
Nice.
Right next to a freaking tiger plant. Oh, fuck me. This is gonna hurt.
But food has 3 stages. Fresh, where it will give all the benefits.
What?
That it normally would.
Memories of One Stranded. Do you want to read this or should I?
You can read it.
Oh, the wonderful things you'll encounter here. The horrifying depths you'll explore. It may seem grim, but you are capable of living until tomorrow. Explore the world, learn everything you can, and never quit. Because the sights and sounds are amazing. The secrets are profound. I write this as I leave this planet, and I hope you can do the same. Best of luck, a lone traveler. Whoever wrote this, and whoever time capsuled this, if they see this, thank you so much. That is so cool. Let's see what they gave us. Oh, we got a creature egg that I know what that is.
A creature egg, a big bottle of water, a diamond, a rupee, and an ion cube.
Thank you so much. If you ever see this, thank you so much. I had to get stabbed by a plant to do it, but hey, worth it. Right, Ashtar? Oh, look!
Yep. Another one?
Seriously, how's my luck today?
Okay, to briefly explain what these are, time capsules are things that other players sent out after a certain point in the game.
Yeah.
Which you can put screenshots, items, and little clips in them as you saw.
They gave me some chips, some water,
a beacon, and a food block.
Let's read what they had to say. Wrong, where's the thing? Survive, my friend. Survive to do something great. Look at their base!
Yep.
I love when we find time capsules, Ashtar. Fun.
Seek fluid intake.
I still have water in my... Yes, I do.
Vital signs stabilizing.
Okay, I still need to find one more Reginald. Shouldn't be that hard, right? I mean, I found one. I know what they look like. Oh! What?
What just happened?
I think in my eagerness to get the second Reginald, I accidentally...
Did you just run yourself over again?
Yeah, I ran myself over. What did I lose? All my stuff should be where my ship is, right?
I think so, yeah.
What was that?
The Sea Glide. Sometimes when exiting the base, well, that might have just been the hatch.
Anyway, let's fly over to Shadow. Wait,
Yeah, so
because I lost the Reginald, does that mean it's there with my stuff, or do I need to catch a new one?
Because of how fish work, it swam.
So I have to find a new one.
Yeah,
Once.
the main problem with if you die with like actual like live fish in your inventory,
They just swim away.
if you die in a place they can live, they will swim away.
I knew our luck was too good, Ashtar, you know?
I mean, you didn't literally get struck by lightning. You just ran yourself over.
Because I got a little overexcited.
Yeah, so the main problem on why this can happen and why this was never is because of how vehicles work, is that the vehicle has separate momentum from the character. So if the character gets out of the vehicle, the character is going to get out of the vehicle
In front of it.
not in front of it, but in the direction that they push. If you push E, you get out of the vehicle in front of it. And the main problem is that because of where it places you in front of the vehicle, and the fact that the vehicle keeps momentum even if you leave, it's very easy to run
Look, here's all my stuff.
on the floor.
Near a tiger plant.
Just knife it.
Hey, back off, buddy.
30 seconds.
Seriously, back off.
So one quick thing I should mention is that when you swim,
Yeah?
you do swim slightly slower when you go backwards.
Well, I was trying to get away from that one thing, you know?
Yes. Well, what I'm saying is that if you swim in the direction opposite of the camera, you do go slower than if you swim in the direction of the camera.
This is gonna hurt. Oh no. Where's my stuff? There it is. There's this. Everything trying to kill me today.
Yes.
Now get the titanium, please. I will knife a plant. That can't be everything. Nope, there's a food block. Soggy food block now.
Yeah. So I don't remember exactly when they introduced it, but it is possible for that to happen.
I think that's all the stuff that could be dropped.
Yeah. I believe you kept the creature egg in your inventory.
Yeah. There's my shit.
I think you did lose a few things. I don't know if it's because that's just...
I lost the chips.
And the water.
I think the water would have stayed.
There's a couple of reasons I can think of that you don't have everything that you have. One, because it might have clipped, although we've mostly fixed that issue.
Just looking
Or
around.
two, oh, there's the beacon.
Oh, I don't remember what that beacon's for. Hold on.
No, you had a beacon in your inventories.
So it set itself up?
Yes. If you die with a beacon in your inventory, it will set itself up.
Come here. That. It's just sitting there, menacingly. No?
No.
my other stuff? Can I not take the bag of chips? Oh, do you mind? Ashtar?
What?
It's gonna eat me!
Again?
I don't want to be eaten. Can I pick it up? I can't. It won't let me pick it up.
So the thing about chips is that if they drop in the ocean, they just kind of know.
They just stop existing, pretty much.
Pretty much.
Get back
It's
in
a
shadow
weird.
before I kill myself.
Yeah, the weird thing about the chips is that because of what the vending machine does,
Mm-hmm.
at least most of what it does, if it gets soggy, it doesn't have a soggy state. So it just kind of...
I think we got everything, pretty much everything back. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you might also want to look at the soggy food block and see what that does now. Because it is different.
It's actually not soggy, I was just making a joke.
Oh.
Well, because, you know, it was in the water. I just need one more Reginald, and we can go home and end this chapter. Is that so much to ask?
Sometimes it is.
Stop the vehicle. Get out. Swim. Here, Fifi Fifi. Okay. Now we can get out of here.
Should be able to.
That was more drama than it needed to be, Ashtar. You know?
I mean, you forgot that
Momentum is a thing.
momentum is a thing. Granted, originally the Seamoth did have the same momentum as you did and did stop on a dime when you did. But I think because there were some issues with... I don't actually remember the exact cause they changed that, but I think they did it mostly for, like, the sake of, oh, hey, it's a vehicle, it shouldn't have the same as you do. That might have been more of a fidelity thing, like, than an actual, oh, this is causing problems thing.
Yeah. So you gotta admit, finding 2 time capsules was really lucky.
Yeah. So I should mention that the capsules always in those places, and time capsules are just sort of random.
And finding 2 in a row is really, actually, I think, rare.
Yeah. So each world, this is also the only procedural generated thing, is given its own seed.
Mm-hmm.
If you get the same seed as somebody else, this world,
Whoa, whoa, whoa!
there will be a time capsule. And everybody's seen what those are.
Yeah.
So, this is the only multiplayer
Game.
integration
Mm-hmm.
that's in the game, other than like mods. And at that case, that's not the vanilla game. But all they are is just short little things that you can do. You don't necessarily have to put anything in a time capsule, but I don't think time capsules actually appear unless you put something in them.
Mm. I think you have to put something in them. But look, Ashtar, we now have fish.
Yay.
How long does it normally take them to breed? And we also have a little egg growing, which I know exactly what it is.
Yeah, so fish, I think all fish, except for, like, eggs.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not entirely sure, but it takes, I think, like, a few minutes. I might be wrong about that. If you want exact details, you might want to look at the wiki for how long it takes for fish to multiply.
Yeah.
But the tank can only hold like so many fish before it stops.
Yeah.
There is a maximum amount that the tank can hold, and particularly big things, like things from creature eggs, like hostile creature eggs that you
Mhm.
can put in there, do take up much more room than like small stuff like Reginald's.
Yeah. And plus, like I
So
said, we
it
have a little friend in there that I can't wait for it to
Yep.
hatch.
So that does take up a spot.
Yeah. But usually people,
Right.
when that thing is hatched, put it outside, without the base or whatever.
Yeah. So I should mention that each aquarium, you can stack them,
Mhm.
and each time you do, it does extend the amount of fish you can put in it by the
Mm.
same, X amount, where
Yeah.
that amount is out as much as one aquarium can hold.
Yeah.
I believe one aquarium can hold a maximum, I think, of like 8 fish, maybe 10, 8 or 10 fish
Mm.
per aquarium. Although you can't add aquariums horizontally to each other, I don't think you can stack them vertically on each other.
Yeah. I remember in one of the playthroughs I was doing before I started YouTube, I had a setup like this, and a biter somehow got in there and killed my whole stock.
Yeah, so one of the issues with the tanks is that because of how they work, their collision isn't exactly the best.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Also, when they load it, because of how habitats work, habitat load in procedurally as the world loads in. So it is possible for creatures that aren't supposed to be in there to load in before it does.
Yeah.
So if you do have a big enough base, it is quite possible for like small creatures like biters or other things to accidentally get stuck in a because they loaded before the aquarium
Calorie
did.
intake recommended.
Oh, I need to eat something. I have a lot of these.
Vital signs stabilizing.
Oh, how long? I don't remember how long it takes for this guy to hatch. You know what I mean?
So, here's the main problem. I think all eggs have different hatch times.
Mm-hmm.
I'm probably wrong about that, but I distinctly remember that I think because that egg is special, it has a different hatch time than everything else.
You think we should stop here? It's 4:33.
Yeah.
I mean, we, got a viable power source going. You know?
Yep.
Let's go up here. This base is growing every day, Ashtar. Got this real quick.
Yeah.
Wrong button. I'm going to save. And this is where we're going to be calling it for this week, folks. Like I said, if I get this job, the streaming schedule may change, and I will try to keep you guys updated with that. But until whenever we see each other again, this has been AJ.
And Ashtar.
Stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you guys when we see you guys. Bye.